Buckle up, hotties. It's time to talk some hoops. Welcome to Crunch Wears No Pants with Brandon, Nate, and Jordan.
Welcome to episode 5 of Crunch Wears No Pants, powered by Jimmy's Dips and Joe Mama Salsa. I'm proudly part of the Poll Tab Sports basketball family, which is us and my former boss, Andy Rohde. What's up, Andy? Before anything happens, please subscribe to the pod wherever you get your podcasts and leave us ratings. It helps. And also, follow us on social at No Pants Crunch on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, not Facebook, because Zuckerberg is a cyborg.
And Reddit. Subscribe to the Reddit account.
Yeah, but Twitter's fine.
Twitter's doing fine.
Yeah, there's
great.
nothing going on with Twitter right now.
Nothing big at all. Okay, so I'm not doing the icebreaker question today, so I have no clever segue to get into it. So Durf, just take us away. Take us on this magic carpet ride.
All right, let's do it, guys. All right, the question for today is thematic. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So,
but when people are listening to this in 3 weeks,
tomorrow was Thanksgiving when we recorded.
Tomorrow was Thanksgiving.
Let's see. It was probably out in 3 days. Yeah, a couple days ago. 2 days ago was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
If the Timberwolves are a Thanksgiving meal, what dish is J-Mac and why? Don't think too hard about it.
Garlic mashed potatoes.
Okay, and what's
because you can never go wrong. It's a utilitarian side.
Okay.
He's the stuffing because he's all I want.
Whoa, interesting.
Wow.
Okay, great. My answer was going to be sweet potato pie because he's good. He's consistent. I don't know. I don't have a good rationale for that.
Sweet potato pie is one of those things that I've never actually had or seen. I've just heard about it on like television shows about Thanksgiving.
I don't know if I want it in a pie. Like if I'm thinking sweet potatoes, I'm thinking like Cajun seasoning, garlic, truffle, whatever, like fries.
Oh, so you want a more of a savory?
Yeah, I want a savory sweet potato. I don't want a sweet potato.
That's fine. That's fair.
I just don't want sweet
That's fair.
potatoes.
All right. What about green bean casserole? What do we think about green bean?
Bullshit.
Casserole?
Horrendous. Get it out of here.
Okay,
and not
it's just because it's popular. You don't like popular things.
I like Marvel, which is the most popular,
and Star Wars. Okay,
and Star Wars.
Green bean casserole, not a part of the Beck family Thanksgiving tradition typically. So
it's not bland enough. Beck, for the listeners, Beck hates any like type of sauce, right? Any type of like you don't like ketchup.
I like ketchup.
You didn't. You used to
Not true.
It's
I
fun.
just don't like over sauced things.
Okay.
Just like a little bit of sauce.
I think you expanded with HelloFresh. I think you expanded your.
No, you're just making shit up now.
I heard Joe Mama Salsa made an exclusive Beck package, which is just chopped tomatoes and a little bit of cilantro.
It just comes in a little container.
Perfect proportions. So, all right. Lovely. Durf, great job.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Ice is broken.
Oh, also, I didn't introduce us, but does it matter? I made funny nicknames for us, but
Go for it.
Yeah,
no, I don't want
do
to.
it. Do it. Do the bit.
No, I don't want to anymore. You don't know who we are. Oh. Okay. Big ol' show today. The vibes are demonstrably better around the Timberwolves. We're going to talk about the last 6 games since we recorded, which we're 4-2 in that time. 4-game win streak. They're playing as we speak right now, so
No spoilers.
yeah, no spoil.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I got him DVRing.
What if Rudy, Cat, and D'Lo all tear their ACLs and Ant's arm explodes?
Knocking on that wood.
Yeah, that's
That'd be bad.
horrible thing you
So
just said. You could have just
Great
been like,
joke,
what
man.
if they lose by a lot?
No, what
Great
if our
joke,
top-
man.
But whatever. I don't think that'll happen because when it doesn't happen, we'll feel better about it. But okay, the vibes right now. We're gonna go over. This is just I'm a train wreck. God damn it. We'll go over the positive vibes of the team, which have been great the last 6 games. I think we'll mostly focus on the Rudy Gobert experience, Jaden, and J-Mac most likely. Maybe some plus-minus talk.
J-Mac, the greatest point guard of all time.
There's a debate to be had. And then, speaking of Twitter, who knows how long it'll be around. We're going to have a Wolves Twitter draft. We're going to assemble teams, 7-member teams. We're going to pick 21 members of Wolves Twitter.
Deep.
It's far too much, and I kind of want to cut it down a little bit.
Nope, I've got a whole big board prepared.
Okay, well,
Minor stretches, but we'll do it. We'll just see what happens.
We'll do a Wolves Twitter draft. But before that, Jimmy's Dips. Look for the apples at Cub or Hy-Vee. They got their new caramel dip. They got caramel and sea salt caramel, depending on your preference. You can dip apples in it. You can dip a banana in it. You can sprinkle it over your apple crisp. It's a local company, Stewartsville, Minnesota. That's where they hail from. So you better freaking show some love to Jimmy's Dips. You can buy it online or at Cub Foods or Hy-Vee. The last 6 games have been good, and 2 of those have been losses. So since we last recorded, we had the Phoenix game, which was kind of a sad L, but not as sad, but still a little bit sad.
That was
pretty
kind of like,
rough.
I think that was kind of the
Turning point?
the low, like that was like
The
the
bottom
rock
out?
bottom.
Not
Is-
the Knicks game?
I think but the Phoenix game after the Knicks game was like just as bad and disappointing, where it was like, wow, they just got their asses kicked by the Knicks and now they don't really show any heart.
Yeah.
It's like a Chris Paul, Cam Johnson-less Suns.
Was that close at any point? I'm trying to remember the Phoenix game.
No, they were down by
It
like
was
20 in the
like-
first half.
It was 8
Yeah,
to
it was
8, and I
consistently
was
like
whoa.
10 at the minimum.
Yeah. So the Phoenix game, kind of a bummer, and that was the bottom out. Then we come back, show some heart versus Memphis. The John Moran experience. The whistle gets blown before he even gets the ball. It's a bunch of bullshit. But we lost, sadly. Then we played Cleveland and we freaking murked them, and then they came back and then we beat them. And then Orlando, same thing. We murked them and they came back and then we beat them. Philly, same thing. We murked them and then they came back and then we beat them. And then Miami, they were murking us. Then plot twist, we played in the third quarter and then we beat them. So we are 4-2 in the last 6 games. Gentlemen, 4-game win streak. How are the vibes? Brandon, start us off.
Well, first things first, the vibes are unquestionably better than they were this time 2 weeks ago when we were recording. I mean, we were very sad. And Jolly was ready to sell the team and trade everybody. And so like 4-game win streak, back above 500, all that stuff's really good. Until the Miami game on Monday, I was still kind of like keeping things at an arm's length because like you said, like we would play like 3 good quarters and then we'd kind of like let our feet off the gas and teams would come back, and those teams were all like really shorthanded, and Miami was shorthanded too. But like, yeah, sure, we beat Cleveland, but it's Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. And once again, like Darius Garland.
Jared Allen, Vikings Ring of Honor defensive end, Jared Allen.
He was blowing guys up. He had like 15 sacks in the game.
Like, the refs were not calling
He brought
it.
his bow on the court. It was crazy.
But so they were shorthanded. So that win was kind of like, okay, good win, but you know, like that's kind of what we're expected. Orlando was like horrendously bad, like except the Bull Bowl experience
That was very
magical.
fun.
I could watch Bull Bowl all the time.
I could too. He's just, you know, the unicorn status. I kind of like the Magic. Like in 3 years, if they can keep it together, they're deep.
The Magic are like fun and weird because of like how gigantic they are.
Yeah.
Like when everyone's healthy, it's like Bull, Mo Bamba, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, like just these monstrosities of people, and they're all like
It's a mean compliment.
no, monstrosities like big dudes.
It's got a negative connotation.
You're a monstrosity.
Thanks, man.
I didn't mean it as
They
a
have
Cool
some
logo.
talent.
Yeah.
They have some
They
talent.
have some talent and a cool
And some
logo.
Cool Jays.
And then same thing with Philadelphia. A little less like they weren't playing hard and a little more like, man, find someone who loves you as much as referees love Joel Embiid, because that guy flails around like a fish. He's the least entertaining basketball player I've ever watched. I can't imagine anyone that's not a Philadelphia fan enjoys watching what that guy does.
It's a soulless experience.
It's and I know it's frustrating when it's happening like against your team, but it's also just like it's not basketball.
The third quarter took 45 minutes, I swear.
Yeah,
it was
and-
horrible.
and it's just like it's tough to watch. So
Whatever. The vibes are better.
Yeah. But then the Miami game, like kind of like down in the dumps first half. We'll talk a little bit about like Boo Gate later, and like they were getting booed. I didn't really think that the first half in that Miami game though was like a lack of effort, lack of fight. Like there was some things like they weren't boxing out as much, but that might just be
The team.
that might just be like the reality of the team. But what was really happening was Miami was just like sitting back in that zone, and we were just clanking open shots over and over again. And it's like, you can say like move the ball, but it's like, okay, like there's 4 guys standing around the perimeter. They're all wide open. They just keep passing to each other until one person shoots it.
This is a great segue into something that was bothering me on Twitter. People were like, you know, what's going on? Rudy's out of the game. He's a non-factor. In like 5th grade, when we could first start to play zone and in-house or whatever travel basketball, that's what like my coaches told me when we were 10. Like the paint's gonna be tough and like you have to shoot around it.
Well, so you do need to like the way to actually break a zone is like you want to like penetrate and kick and like penetrate and then like you can dump it off to Rudy if he's in like the dunker spot or something like that. The problem was like they were playing such a collapsed zone because we weren't shooting anything. Like everyone was like 12 feet away from the basket. So that aside, so I didn't chalk that first half up to like lack of effort. And then they just came out and played like the best basketball they've played all year in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And I was really impressed. And once again, shorthanded Miami team, but they had Kyle Lowry, they had Bam Adebayo, they had Max Strus. Like that's 3 of their 4 starters, and those guys played a lot. So I came away super impressed. I'm going to be honest, before the Miami game, I was kind of ready to come in and like mute the positive vibes a little bit. Ooh. Like I'm not like all back on this team, but like the win on Monday really like sold me, I think, as like, okay, this is like growth. A huge step in the right direction. And like the first game that they've played that I've really like felt good about overall. Like otherwise the other games are just like they beat up on shorthanded or bad teams.
Yeah, the difference being obviously like coming out in the second half strong, which we haven't seen much this year. It's like we have all this energy to start the game and we get out to a lead and then it slowly just dwindles away. Terrible 3rd quarter, and then the 4th quarter is fighting for your life. You still lose by whatever. But yeah, like the resiliency of facing difficulty and then winning says something about your team.
It's a modicum of culture that Minnesota sports fans like to get in on.
How do they have that culture though without Pat, Bev, and Vando?
I think Cat is showing a little bit of leadership. There was a bit where like Rudy like he got hit in the face and he was trying to sell it and he was like laying around the court. And he was like kind of pissed off. You know, the Heat game, he was pissed the whole game. And then Cat sprints out from the bench to like help him up and like, you know, be there for him. You can tell that Rudy's having a hard time. So just seeing stuff like that, it's like, oh, Cat's like,
yeah. I mean, he's been very intentional.
Right,
He's been very intentional about like making Rudy Gobert feel welcome. I think Cat though I think that's one thing you can't really criticize Cat about. If anything, you can criticize him for it because it's felt like kind of performative in the past. Is that like he almost like says and does the right thing too much to the point where it kind of like feels inauthentic. Yeah. Where it's like Cat really wants to be the model teammate. And that's like always been the case. Like he didn't throw Jimmy Butler under the bus when Jimmy Butler was going at him. And like he's always the guy who's like willing to like take less shots for someone else and stuff like that, where it's
wish he wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like that's like kind of something we wish he wouldn't do. But yeah, no, like hats off to him for doing that.
Cats off to him.
Cats off to
so
him.
let's dive into this Rudy point. Should we get into Boogate?
Yeah, we can get into Boogate a little bit.
So people have I'm already sick of seeing it on Twitter and talking about it, but let's talk about it let's get 5 to 6 minutes on it. If you don't know what Boogate is, Rudy said, hey, fans, don't come to the game and boo us. It doesn't do anything for me. He says, if you're going to boo, stay home. And then Ant echoed the sentiment. Then Coach Finch came out and said, if you don't like getting booed, play better. So I guess the whole thing is, guys, where do we stand on Timberwolves fans booing their own team? When's it warranted? Is it something that you can rock with? Durf, start us out.
It's situational. I mean, if we're talking about this specific example, like I fall somewhere in between. Like I agree with Finch. Yeah, like play better. That's like you can't complain about an entity of fans. Like they're not going to hand out flyers that when you walk in and say don't boo the team if they're starting to lose. But like just kick some ass once in a while and maybe you don't have to worry about it. But I also do see how it can be frustrating as a team. Like basketball, you feed so much off of vibes. So like if you're getting nothing but bad vibes it's not helping you.
Yeah.
I think that's a little like chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Like the vibes, like booing, like, because I haven't played like NBA basketball or anything like that, but
what?
But like,
did you know
it's
this?
Really like if your team's like on the court and you're getting your asses kicked, like the crowd being like, it's okay, guys, keep trying, isn't like going to like turn the tide. Like that's usually just a result of like turning the flow. So like I said, I didn't think booing in the first half of that Miami game was warranted. Where I fall on it is I don't think we should boo guys or boo the team just for like playing poorly. No one's out there like trying to miss shots or trying to turn it over.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is just like, that's basketball. That's like Yankees fans boo a guy for striking out. Like, I don't think that's like productive or warranted or anything like that. On the other hand, though, like if they had come out after like the Knicks game or the Suns game and been like, hey guys, stop booing us, I would be like, well, don't go out there with this like false sense of accomplishment and this like we've arrived, like we don't have to try. Like it when you're getting your asses kicked by 25 points and it's because you showed up and didn't give a shit from the tip, then like I think if the fans are well within their rights to like let guys know that this isn't an acceptable level of effort from the guys. And it was like a weird time. I guess there was the booing in the first half of the Miami game, but it's like a weird time where I think like the vibes had shifted a little more positive.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a little like, what do we have to do? We're on a 3-game winning streak. We came home and in the first half, people are already booing us.
Yeah, I think I personally I could never boo the Timberwolves. That's just not in my nature. However, if like you don't like the effort, I agree. Like go for it if you want to boo. I think there's some more fair weather fans in the crowd. They're like, they're paying for the sins of the Vikings, Twins, and Wild. Like we're just gonna boo now because that's what we do. And then 2, I think the bars, and because of that, the bar's like been lowered. So I think there's like a lot of like emotions around the team. Like that comes with investment. So kind of a weird silver lining. And then 3, I think post pandemic, I've experienced this while DJing weddings. I've heard friends in the service industry talk about it. People are so much more entitled now. Where if they don't like what they're seeing, they're gonna boo it because they think they're entitled, like the best meal ever, or my best DJ set ever, or the best Wolves game ever. When that's just not possible. Okay, is that the end of boo game?
I was just gonna say I do agree with that point where it's the situation in which you're booing. It's not like if you're just missing shots, it's not like you're trying to do that.
Yeah, it's
like,
basically
you need to recalibrate there.
Yeah,
but don't like if it's an effort thing, like that is something you can control. If you walk out on the court and you're not running and
yeah, exactly. What like if it's a controllable thing, then I think it's warranted. But if it's just like
some clankers,
they're having a bad game, like what's the point?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, there's Boogate. We got our word in on it. It's over now. Rudy Gobert. Should we spend some more time on Rudy here and the Rudy experience? How we've had it for about 20 games. We said 20 games would be like the checkpoint. We're at like what, 18? 17? 18.
Game 18's happening right now.
Right now. So there's been a couple times where we've seen Rudy, shove D'Angelo, kind of pout around, take plays off. I also, during the Heat game, he was like throwing like bows at the backup center. Like he was getting vicious. He was getting vicious in the paint. People have been making the point on Twitter that you got to, feed him the ball on offense so he can be engaged on defense, which I think is just fair because like then you're engaged on both. It's easier to keep your energy up. So how do we feel about the Rudy Gobert experience? 17 games in. Do we like spicy Rudy? Are we kind of like, oh, this is another drama like king? Is this a bad addition? Do we have any thoughts on that?
I mean, he has not been as impactful as I think was expected, and I think as much as like what we gave up for him, he hasn't been that value yet.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's kind of like a tough player though, like that he takes time. Like Mike Conley, when he got traded to Utah, it took him like a whole year to figure out like the chemistry with Rudy Gobert. And I think he's kind of still in a feeling out process with his teammates as far as like who he can hold accountable and how he can hold guys accountable. Bad example because this turned really bad. But do you guys remember like Jimmy Butler's first year with the Timberwolves, where he was like, when he first showed up, he was like really, really like said and did all the right things and was like, this is Kat and Andrew Wiggins' team. And like, I'm going to sit back and like take a back seat to these guys. And he was like, kind of like feeling it out, feeling where he could like make his impact. And then like they started off, I don't remember what their record was, but they started off a little poorly. And at like the 10-game mark, Jimmy Butler was like, F this is my team now. I'm taking over. And like, that was like when things shifted. So I think that's still like where we're at with Rudy as far as like, he knows like, maybe he knows like he can shove D'Angelo Russell and that'll like wake him up, but like he can't shove Anthony Edwards or he'll get mad or he'll shut down or different things like that. So I think it's just kind of like a feeling out process with that. I want Rudy Gobert. He's the veteran on the team. He's the guy that's been on good teams. I want him to be the vocal leader, the guy that is holding, especially the backcourt, accountable on the defensive end. Because
he's too busy smoking cigarettes and eating baguettes, though, dude.
But
Ratatouille.
You interrupted me as my point was finished, so I had nowhere to go.
Okay, well said. I'm going to push back on like the impact. He definitely hasn't done like 5 first-round picks worth of impact. I mean, it's not his problem that they traded that much to get him. So be it. I do think though, even like when he was putting up 0 and 0, it's crazy to see how. And this is just everyone's been beating this to the dead horse. But it's like people like we drive and you think that it's easy layup and like, oh, here comes Rudy, and like they'll dish it out. So even if it's on the stat sheet. Yeah, we're turning into Jazz fans. Like it doesn't show up on the stat sheet all the time.
Yeah, but that stuff shows up in like the deeper stats. I mean, like
net rating and all that.
Measurably, he is not having as big of an this is one of his least impactful seasons since like his like third year or whatever, when he was still like establishing himself as a guy. That's not to say he's been a negative. He just hasn't been like if he's not in the defensive player of the year conversation right now, and he hasn't been like the offensive force I think we kind of like expected him to be. Like, I'm really surprised at like his lack of touch around the rim.
Yes.
Why does he just dunk it?
Well, I know. Well, he started to.
But what's weird about this is like he's led the league in field goal percentage each of the last 2 seasons. He shot over 70% from the field last year, 68% the year before, 69% the year before, nice. 67% the year before that.
Oh, that's nice.
He's shooting 63% now this year, which is like quite a bit worse when you consider all he's doing is like taking layups and dunks. And so I don't know if he's like, if like the knee thing is still bothering him, or if it's still just like that feeling out process of like people getting it to him in the right spots. But yeah, that's been like my biggest takeaway is he has been a little more like awkward offensively and not as like automatic around the rim as I expected him to be. Like I didn't expect him to be like posting up guys and hitting hook shots, but like they'll hit him on like a wide open like pick and roll, and sometimes he'll just like lay it up like off the bottom of the rim or something.
It looks like me shooting. It's bad.
Interesting.
This has turned negative on Rudy.
Well,
but we're talking about his offense right now. I was going to say, I agree with you. I think that noticeably his defense impacts the game in many ways. And I think we're also just used to having an offensive center. Like it's a big shift. I mean, for the last 20 years, we've had an offensive center. Yeah. Like we're just not used to that type of, and not to say that like we should expect him to be good or offensively. We should expect him to, start to feel that fit. But sometimes it feels like when they're on the court at the same time, him and Cat, there's like duplicative nature there, because Cat obviously like is playing the power forward position, but it seems like they're going to the same spot sometimes. And it just looks like a little bit, it's gotten better with time, but it's just like you have 2 big centers that are used to playing similar positions, and they're both emotional guys. Mm-hmm. It's just an interesting dichotomy there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the whole the spacing issue, and also just think about Rudy Gobert, interesting player to game plan for. Finch doesn't like the pick and roll. He's pretty vocal about not liking the pick and roll. Cat's a unicorn. How do you go? Here's a 7-footer, but he can shoot from 34 feet away.
He's the best shooter on the team.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of factors affecting the team to kind of shoehorn this guy in. I'm a big fan of just putting him in that Vando dunker spot. Like try the same offense as last year and just pretend that Rudy is Vando, and let's just see what happens.
Well, so I wonder, offensively, I wonder how much better he gets offensively if like we ever start shooting the ball better. Because like you were saying, like spacing issues, like back to that Miami game, and like, yeah, he had 0 shot attempts, but that's because there was like 5 guys 10 feet or less away from him. And like, we're just out there clanging threes, and like the shooting has been a problem throughout the season. D'Lo is
starting to get a little
bit better. We'll talk about McDaniels in a little bit. He's been shooting really well for a couple weeks now. Ant is still in that like 35% range. I think we were hoping he'd be more in like that 38% range. Russell is not shooting very well. Cat's not shooting as well as we're used to Cat shooting. And then the bench, there's not nearly as much firepower on the bench as we were used to having last year.
Torian cooled down after shooting 80% from three. Wasn't sustainable.
Shocking.
But like we're really feeling like the lack of Malik Beasley.
Isn't he leading the league in 3-point percentage?
Yeah, and I mean like we know he's like a streaky guy. It's not about like what he's doing in Utah as much as like we don't have like that guy who's like on a high volume going to shoot like 40% and going to like be running to the corners and
what
stuff
about
like
Bryn
that.
Forbes?
Well, yeah, but Bryn Forbes, A, is not shooting well, and B, can't do anything else.
He's looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
I have a question for Beck. Since you follow the, you can answer it too.
Thanks.
But I just want to know your insight. Like, do you think, so Rudy's struggling offensively here. Do you think there's carryover from what was going on when he left Utah? Like they weren't getting the ball. Like, is there any similarities, I guess, to our struggles with him, getting him to produce?
Well, I think we partially we tried like to force feed the ball to him at the beginning of the year as like, we were like, we think we can get more out of Rudy Gobert if we utilize him in like post up and stuff like that. And he's just not very good at that. I think like most of the offensive struggles go to like the shooting, like we were just talking about. And he's played a little bit better lately, but like also the D'Angelo Russell thing has not been like the legendary preseason talk of the D'Angelo Russell, Rudy Gobert pick and roll has not come to fruition. And like I said, it took Mike Conley a whole season to figure out that chemistry with Rudy Gobert because he is a really as big as he is and as much as it seems like, oh, just throw it up to the rim and he can get it. He's a really unique player to play offense with. And like, so you have to figure out like how to use those screens. And D'Angelo Russell doesn't like to get as like deep on like a pick and roll. He likes to kind of like stop from that mid-range area. Whereas like for those lob dunks, you need to get like a little closer to the rim to like
He's
that
crafty.
floater range.
I wish he would just drive. He has sorry not to cut you off, but like he has that mid-range, great tool to have. But like just when he gets to he's a good post-up point guard. Like he can do it.
So I don't think I don't think it's post-up. It's like I said, it's
or on the block.
If you want to get your roller, like a big lob threat roller like that involved, the way to do that is to like get to like floater range. So you force the defender to make a decision like, am I going to contest here or am I going to go back to my man here? And then you can also like disguise like a floater and a lob pass. Those two things look the same. And so it's like a tricky.
And then you draw the goaltend, and that's the new offense is drawing the goaltend.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, especially with D'Lo, he's such a methodical. Like he's not going to like speed to the rim, and it feels like he uses those picks as like just a wall that he kind of like. You know, he likes to like snake pick and roll. Yeah, exactly.
And he wants to get to like that elbow like free throw line distance and shoot a mid range shot, which is not the best way to get Rudy Gobert involved. And also D'Angelo Russell out of the pick and roll. His best like passes out of that are those little like pocket bounce passes. Whereas like Rudy Gobert, the way you want to get him involved is to throw the ball high and have him go up and get it. He's not very good at like catching bounce passes because he's so high above the ground.
That's a great segue to something I was noticing. And you're going to love this, Brandon. When D'Angelo attempts to pretend to play like Jordan McLaughlin, we are good, and he is good. Like when he's sprinting up and down the court and he's moving quickly and quick decisions, the offense hums. When he starts to slow things down, that's where things get stagnant. So I thought that was
one
quite
might
funny.
say effort. As
one,
we just
one
talked
might
about.
say one
that's
might
why
say
we
effort.
boo D'Lo.
Oh my God, that makes me so sad. Let's get into Jaden McDaniels, who we're talking about spacing and shooting and all that. He has been doing his part the last 6 games. He's come alive. So in the last 6 games, he's averaging 14.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. Bump that up, Jaden. 1 steal, 1 block, 57% from 2, and 43.5 from 3-point. This a lot of stuff is like the same as last year. Like slow start. Jaden has a slow start. Now Jaden's picking it up, and now we're picking it up. Last episode we said D'Lo is the key. Is Jaden the key?
I think they're all keys.
They're all. I think the starting 5. I think everyone in the starting 5 is important. Hot take.
Well, I actually think not to like pile on D'Angelo Russell. I hate being like
you are such a hater.
I hate being like anti D'Angelo Russell guy, but like
hates
the recent like uptick in production from Jaden McDaniels is because like he has more like freedom and flow in the offense because D'Angelo Russell has taken more of a back seat. So like as D'Angelo Russell's usage goes down, that usage goes to Jaden McDaniels, and he becomes more comfortable when he's not just like, because like he's not going to be effective if he's just standing in the corner catching and shooting corner threes. He's a guy that like he wants to be attacking on closeouts, wants to be like driving and distributing. And so like when you take some of that usage away from D'Angelo Russell, that's like a natural place for it to go. I've also noticed, so I just noticed this, like the 3 he hit to put us up 4 was like was like an above the break 3, and like that like sparked in my head. I was like, feels like Jaden is not like shooting from the corner as much, and it feels like he's better from like above the break and the top of the key. So I looked this up. He's shooting a career low percentage of his threes from the corner. He's shooting above the break more than he ever has in his career, and that's led to him being more effective. So he's more comfortable like in the middle of the court above the break than he is in the corners, which is weird because the corner is the easiest 3-pointer in basketball.
Yeah. I mean, is there a reason why? I mean,
I think it's because a lot of the guy, like the whole part of the no role players in the starting lineup problem is everybody, with the exception of Rudy Gobert in the starting lineup, fancies themselves a creator. Got a lot of guys who are
fancies themselves. Wow, Brandon, a literary journey.
We've got a lot of guys who are really comfortable like creating for themselves, and when you're creating shots for yourself, those shots are going to come above the break. Versus like when you're shooting from the corner, that's oftentimes going to be a catch and shoot, either coming off a screen or on like a drive and kick or something like that. And that seems to be where Jaden's like less comfortable, which is a little weird because that's kind of the role he was like pigeonholed into as a rookie. But I don't know. I mean, you've said, and the other thing is, as good as like all the offensive stuff has been, he's unbelievable defensively. And the big thing these last 6 games is he's just stayed out of foul trouble so he can get into a rhythm.
He looks bigger. Sorry, Durf. He looks bigger. He's also more comfortable talking shit. He's really doing it now. Last point before we get into, last thing before we think about wrapping it up. We have a great dunking team because Jaden's hunting heads. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, when the lane's clear, is dunking. Cat throws it down sometimes because he's just long and he's like,
Naz Reid, sneaky good dunker.
Yeah. Not sneaky. It's quite blatant when it happens. Nate Knight, Jalen can yam as well. Like, we have a really strong dunking team, and it's very exciting.
Yeah,
makes for fun games.
And then Rudy can kind of do it. Rudy likes to like swing. Like he really does like a jungle gym type, like a whoosh type thing.
he just throws it right down.
Any other player notes or strategy notes or overall notes that we should note on our podcast?
Note.
I mean, other than just like Jordan McLaughlin is amazing.
Yeah, he's in the 4-man or 3-man lineups. Like the top 4 in net rating are all him, or is it plus? It's plus minus. Like all
in the net rating. Well, he's leading the team in net rating by like a wide margin in like half as many minutes as Ant, who's second on the team.
That was the Dane Moore stat that he threw out. That's amazing.
It's just like everything works when he's on the court. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Give him
it's an
D'Lo's
effort
contract.
thing. Well, no, that's a horrible move.
No, dude.
I don't think it's as much an effort thing. It's an effort thing is part of it, but it's also an IQ thing. He's very like aware of his strengths and weaknesses, and so he like plays to those. But he pushes the pace, and he's very quick to just make the right pass. So it's like a thing that I've talked a little bit about is like a lot of times like D'Angelo Russell or Anthony Edwards, like a lot of our primary creators, they're like either trying to score or they're trying to pass to score. If that makes sense.
They're trying to fill a stat sheet one way or another.
Well, I don't think it's about filling a stat sheet. I think it's just about like the way they're wired. So it's like they're either trying to get a shot off or they're trying to make a pass that creates a shot. Versus like with Jordan McLaughlin, it's like get the ball up, get the ball out of my hands, get us into the flow of the offense, where it's like he's not going to have as many assists that way because it's going to be like more hockey assists, more like balls out of my hands, boom, swing, it's in the corner, open 3, like boom, swing, cut, we got to dunk, stuff like that.
I wish they actually monitored hockey assists in basketball.
They do like on an advanced level.
I want it on the back of baseball cards. On the back of my
on the back of baseball cards. Barry Bonds led the league in hockey.
Weird bit. It seems like D'Lo is a lot more cerebral in that. I mean, you can see when he's off and he's in his head. It's like the reason why he had the yips. He's the Kirk Cousins of this team.
He's doing, when he's dribbling slow to the ground, he's doing the Jimmy Neutron brain blast.
Yeah. He's just trying to buy time. And J-Mac is a lot more instinctual.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Continue.
What's your take?
My take on D'Angelo Russell is like we just call him cerebral because he's moving really slow. He's not really like that high IQ of a basketball player.
I don't mean cerebral.
Basketball, though, it's very.
I also don't mean cerebral in that like he's this basketball mind. I mean, you can tell that he's off, like he's in his own head. So I think he's an overthinker, like just in general.
Yeah. But like I said, usually like the way players are defined, like point guards are defined, are like they're either like athletic or they're like cerebral. And I think we just like have put D'Angelo Russell in the cerebral category because he's just like moving really slow.
But he can move quickly, and that's when we're very good.
He can't move that quickly.
He's really slow when he tries.
I think all this negativity towards D'Lo from Beck is actually because he doesn't like D'Lo because he loves Swaggy P. So he's got he's got a bathroom dedicated.
I have a whole bathroom in my basement dedicated.
So I think he's still sour about that bumping of
No, I gave D'Lo his flowers after the nice defense.
Okay.
I was very proud of you. All right.
Thing.
We have the Wolves Twitter draft coming up, which I'm going to push back. We're going to try and make it shorter. But in the meantime,
no, we're not pushing it back. It's not going to take that long.
It might, but whatever. It's the winter now, guys. You know what winter means? No more going outside that much, unless you're into winter sports. But generally, you're hanging out outside, watching movies, watching various sports. And when you're hosting folks, you got to have the salsa and the chips and ready to go. I'm going to say it again. 5 episodes in a row. We do not rock with store-bought, nasty, big salsa.
At all.
Big salsa supports tax cuts for billionaires.
And I know that?
Probably. But Joe Mama's is a locally owned salsa company, and it's locally sourced, and it has delicious, vivacious flavors. They have their standard, mild, medium, and hot salsas. They also have some more flavorful ones like roasted garlic. My favorite's pineapple mango, and it's definitely worth your purchase for when you have friends over or by yourself. I ate the first 75% of my jar by myself, standing up while House of the Dragon was playing. Remember House of the Dragon?
Yeah. I'm not giving anybody any of my salsa. That's for me.
Not during House of the Dragon.
No, just in general. That's
what I like to do. Is
good.
I would take a shot of the Jemima salsa, the super hot, and then I'd pretend that I was like one of the dragons.
Would that be good? Like, could you make like a Bloody Mary with the salsa?
No one's stopping you. You can do whatever you want with these products.
I'll do it.
Once you
were the guy that was gonna dip your carrots in caramel last week.
I asked him to do it. He's the one that brought it up.
Honestly, once you buy the Jemima salsa,
weirdo.
you can do whatever you want with it.
Wow.
As long
within reason.
No, it's yours, dude.
We're not going back to the old app.
All right. Get your Joe Mama salsa at Hy-Vee, Cup Foods, or joemamasalsa.com. That's JOMOMMAS. Last thing, did I mention they use locally sourced ingredients? That's big for me.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, okay. I'm mentioning it. All right. Wolves Twitter draft. It is what it sounds like. We have scoured Twitter for the last decade. Ingraining ourselves in Wolves Twitter. So we're going to each draft our 7-man all acquiesce.
I was going to say, how would you, if you were cutting it down, how would you cut it down?
I would cut down 1 reporter and 1 blogger. So it's 5. But let's do it.
We're going to leave so many good people off the board then.
It's going to
Or we could push that into one thing and it could just be 3 content creators.
I like that. Let's do 6.
Yeah.
So we have 3 either reporters, writers, or bloggers, 1 hype man, 1 meme lord, and 1 wild card. So, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about this, Brandon? This is your brainchild.
Yep. I have the random number generator again to determine our draft order.
Do we get another special number? Whoever gets it gets the automatic first pick.
All right. Special number is
666.
532.
That's a great special number. Who gets it? I get it.
Wait.
So that's
right.
Number.
You do
Okay.
the Excel sheet. Yeah.
All right. Highest number first overall pick, lowest number last overall pick.
Or
in the middle. Or special number gets first overall pick. All right. We have with the first overall pick, Brandon Beck. Gentlemen, I am taking my meme lord, Ha ha, he, Jake Scraps.
Yeah, that's the first overall pick for sure.
Yeah.
We should say why. So, I mean, that's why.
I mean, he's the
he drives.
If I could only follow one person on Twitter during a Timberwolves game, it's Jake Scraps.
Yeah. I think that's the same for all of us.
Yeah.
And the merch is fire.
The merch is fire.
Yeah.
I've literally worn Jake Scraps merch to every podcast recording.
It's the only way to do it.
Yep.
All right, Durf, who are you drafting? And why?
With the second overall pick, I'm taking Johnny K. Athletic, John Krasinski.
It's a great pick.
That's a little bit more of that's an info pick, an insights pick, not really an LOL funny pick.
Well, yeah, but that's what he's not the meme lord. He's a
I'm
writer,
taking him as a reporter. Yeah,
I mean, he is the Adrian Wojnarowski of Minnesota Timberwolves.
he's
Twitter.
he's the number one seed of that.
Yeah, he's the
breakdown.
writer, blogger, reporter. I mean, there's one other you could quibble with as the maybe potential top dog from the writer, blogger, reporter sphere, but I mean, no question,
he's got a great mix
the
of
Godfather.
But on top
Twitter.
of being obviously a very insightful man, he's pretty funny. He's
Yeah.
a pretty funny
Oh,
dude.
he's a funny
the
guy.
Manscaped ads?
Great hang. Great hang.
He doesn't put enough spicy memes on the timeline. I know Johnny K's got
Yeah,
it.
that's
You're just gonna draft a bunch of meme lords. We have one meme lord, Jordan.
yeah. How are you fitting meme lords into reporters?
I don't know.
What reporting meme lords are there?
Well, they can't show bias, and a lot of memes go super left wing, so you can't do that nowadays.
That's what I'm saying.
Great pick, Durf. Great
pick. I have the wraparound.
Love good wraparound.
I love a good wraparound. So I think there's so many ways I can go. There's some on here that I don't think you're going to take. So I'm trying to strategize if I should grab them right away or if I should let them ride.
If they're deep cuts, they might be.
Yeah, that's
sneaky
all part of your
picks.
draft strategy.
So I'm taking my meme lord first. My meme lord, Barflon Tito, formerly of Bleacher Report and Twitter Sports. He is freaking hilarious. He gets the memes going, spicy. That's my first overall pick.
Great pick. I had Barf on my big board, but I had him as a hype man.
I also did.
Well,
I think it's a fair pick.
You can be both.
A lot of
you can
Wildcats.
be both.
Also, we should say their handles. Barflon is at @the_barftender. You've seen him. And then for my other wraparound pick, I should take a big media person. I think I'm gonna take. I think this counts as. You guys can push back on this. Actually, no. Writer. I want Britt Robson.
Damn it.
I want Britt because I like his just swagger. I like how he gets spicy too. So he does the reporting and he does spice. Not really memes, but just funny quips. I want Britt on my team.
He is a meme of him, in and of himself.
Britt's a great pick. I had a little bit of a strategy brewing. I was going to try to pair Britt and someone who else is going to go really high.
Yeah. I think Britt does a good job just, scratching my itch for insights, but also here's a concert I went to in 1973. I'm like, this is the most interesting person I've ever seen.
It's me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Beck's pick, Dane Moore.
Dane Moore. Yeah. Like I said, I was hoping that it was going to work out if you didn't take Britt and you took someone that maybe Durf, because he already had a reporter, was going to do something else. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to go back to back Britt and Dane for the chemistry, because the Britt and Dane pod after Crunch Wears No Pants, of course,
is
the pod of the week that I look forward to.
Great pick. So my team, Barf and Britt, Durf, you got Johnny K and Dane Moore, and Brandon, you have Jake Scraps. And who are you going to pair with Jake?
Durf has a real strong reporter crew, arguably the top two, I would say.
Yeah, that's a Showtime Lakers
duo.
That's a Showtime Lakers of Wolves Twitter.
All right, well, guys, I'm going to leave all of my writer blogger spots open.
Interesting.
And I am going to take my hype man on the next pick.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, a guy that I'm on the record as, you guys know who I love. I love this guy. Kyle Teige.
Nice.
The hype man to go with Jake Scraps.
The double pod lord, the stashed king. He's
your hype man?
He's my hype man.
Okay, because I also had him in the writer blogger, because he also writes.
Yeah, that's there's flexibility with some of these, but I mean, his whole bit is like, I like nobody gets me more hyped about like no one you would get me more hyped about like a 30-50 Timberwolves team than Kyle Tighe did.
Really shepherded us through some dark times. Thank you, Kyle. I really like this segment because it's so wholesome.
Yeah,
just showing love to people.
Exactly. I love these guys.
These people put in work. It's not easy.
Put in work. Jake Scraps is up every morning, firing up the coffee and Photoshop to make it happen. Do you have one more pick, Brandon?
It's back to me. So
it's a strong team, by the way, Jake Scraps and Kyle Tighe.
This one might be a little bit of a stretch this early in the draft. I don't know if this guy is on your guys' board, but I am taking one of my first writer blogger. I'm taking Punch Drunk Wolves.
Oh, nice.
He gets kind of spicy.
Nice.
I guess.
He also hates D'Angelo Russell.
That's why.
There was a couple that I was like, well, there's like a writer for this blog, but then there's also the blog account, which I also enjoy.
He just has both of them be the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Punch Drunk Wolves' like actual name is.
I love that. Hide behind.
He's been on Dane's pod before, so I've
great
heard
strategy.
his name before, but
yeah,
I think it's Bartholomew.
I doubt it, but maybe.
Well, I'm pretty confident that it is because you can't refute it. Durf, what do you got? So you have Johnny K and Dane Moore. Who is your next pick?
Let's see here. I'm gonna take
this dude.
What we need 3 of the reporter writer bloggers,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna take Jack Borman as my third pick.
High on my board. I like Jack Borman.
Mm-hmm.
Runs Canis Hoopus now.
Good for him.
Yeah, great job.
King of Canis.
Since Tighe stepped away, it's Jack Borman's.
It's Jack Borman's baby, the JBB.
The JBB.
All right, let's see. I got my nice wraparound coming up. Let's see here. I'm going to go with my wild card, Shabazz Khan.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
had him on my big board.
Shabazz not only was the photographer at my wedding and engagement photos with his wife, he also was the former director of social at the Timberwolves. And just the insights. He doesn't tweet as often anymore, but he has really nice, like 3 sentencers, always well thought out. He now gets to film LeBron at Uninterrupted, Shabazz, and he hosts Spaces with Barf after many Wolves games. I don't know if they're still doing that, but when they get together, it's always a great time. So Shabazz is my wild card, and then I'm going for my hype man, Jordan Dye.
Yep, high on my board.
The courtside king himself. This man has no rules. He does whatever he wants.
He had his own Reddit thread the other day.
He had his own Reddit thread. Someone claimed that he was a big drug dealer.
Yeah, he's a drug smuggler. That's how he got all his money.
That's how he got all of his money.
Doesn't own his own company or anything.
Just the passion courtside. It gets. I think he's really gotten people like going. Like, and it's not just because of the lime green hair. I just think that he's an active fan courtside. You can hear his claps on the telecast.
It's just cool to have like that notable courtside fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like in like the bigger markets, it's like people who are like famous. It's like Jack Nicholson. But it's kind of cool that like smaller market, like local Minnesota has like, he's kind of like carved out his fame as the famous sideline
we went
guy.
To college
Bill Bice or whatever. What was his name? Bill Bice. I thought it was great. I went to a couple games where he was sitting in the best seats in the house, and then Jordan Woods is off to the side. Like she's on the very tail end. I was like, this is just a great, I love this. But yeah, shout out.
Let me regale you the story with the time we got warnings at the Heat game last year. We were talking mad shit to Jimmy Butler, and the whole time we were asking Jimmy, the bit, you drink Hennessy when you're in those seats. So inhibitions are gone. So the whole time we're yelling at Jimmy, like, Big Face Coffee, do you pay a livable wage? Where do you get your beans from? Is it ethical? And that's all we were saying. We weren't saying anything vulgar at all. It was all about Big Face Coffee's practices. And then halfway through the second quarter, the security comes out and goes, hey, you guys got to calm down. Otherwise you're out of here. And they would have lost their season tickets. So the rest of the game we're going, go team, go, generic. And then there's a free throw. Malik was like on the other side of the court hanging out. So I go, hey Malik, keep a positive attitude. And I gave him this kind of thumbs up, and he started laughing. So take that NBA. Even though you're trying to stop The
Can't
power
silence.
of Jordan Dye. You can't stop it. The vibe is contagious.
That warning, that red card was so
I couldn't believe it.
amazing.
I couldn't believe they gave
You
it to him.
you sent it to our group chat and I lost it.
Are you serious? We got red carded. So shout out to J-Dye. Shout out to Craig. Durf, it's your turn.
So you need Hype Man, Meme Lord, and Wild Card.
Yeah.
You got your reporters filled.
I'm going to take my
Filled to the
hype man, Jeff Monarchy.
Ooh,
Love
hot
Jeff.
pick.
Love
Hot
Jeff.
pick.
Great dude in person, but also great presence on social media. Really encouraging guy.
Encouraging, great gallery of
Super
merch.
Yep.
Years past
Yep.
merch.
Super good engagement too. He just loves people. It's awesome.
And nowadays
dude.
it's hard to find. I fucking hate people.
It's true. He does.
They're the worst. Dude, I still wear my mask at Target, not because I'm scared to go. I'm still a little bit conscious, but mostly I'm like, you gotta fucking go faster. And I don't want to get my ass kicked. I need to protect myself from getting just rocked. Okay. Jeff Monarchy's a great pick.
All right.
Great pick.
Also, he might come on the pod. I love Jeff.
That would be
Ask him.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
will ask him. You know what? I will.
You know what?
Keep your eyes out,
gonna do
listeners.
it.
Who knows? We might name drop you and get you on the pod. All right.
Get some
Brandon.
discounted tickets. All right. Cool.
All right, 2 picks to me. I've got a couple writer blogger spots. I think I'll probably fill those right here. The first one I'm going to go with, once again, I don't know how familiar you guys are with this guy. I don't know if you follow him, but Jake Painting.
Jake Painting is a sleeper.
Yeah,
Jake
good pick.
Painting is,
What's his affiliation?
I think he's technically Canis.
Is he Howls and Growls?
Yeah, his Howls and Growls is
newsletter
his
great.
podcast. Oh, and his newsletter. But
Newsletter is great.
he
After
started
every game.
doing like post game, like he picks like one stat of the game to like expand on, like a little like 10, 15 minute like post game things. Just like a really smart dude and like echoes a lot of my opinions and really like engaged, like really like we'll have like fun.
This
back
guy
and
likes to
forth.
form an echo chamber around himself and not get any unique opinions.
He'll have like fun back and forth. Like he'll respond to you and like if you ask him questions and stuff, like just a good follow.
This is making me realize how deep we are with just
Yeah.
awesome folks.
That's why I wanted it to be 7 because there's gonna be a lot of good,
we can add in the 7th one.
a
if
lot
we
of good
want to.
quality left on the board. Okay,
You have your
so
wraparound?
you have my wraparound, and so I'm going to take my other reporter. Can't believe this guy has fallen this far,
know.
guys.
Who?
Jace Frederick.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh shoot!
It was between him and Jack Borman for me, and I went.
Yeah, I
went
thought
Jack.
you were going with
Yeah.
Jace. Once again, just like really smart dude, loves Jordan McLaughlin.
Mhm.
After the Brit Dane pods, the Brit Jace pods are some of my favorites to listen to. So yeah, Jace Frederick filling out my writer blogger spot.
Awesome pick. That's a good value pick.
Yeah, I can't believe
Really
he
good
fell all
value.
the way to the 5th round.
We just blow, I guess.
All right.
All right, Durf, what do you got? You have a writer, right? And a wild card? And a meme lord.
No,
You
no,
got the meme lord and a wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, that's it. Meme Lord and wild card. For my wild card pick, I'm taking another hype man account. I'm taking Ant Jr.
Damn it! I thought no one was gonna pick him. That was my sleeper. I was.
Let's
gonna
go.
take him.
I don't know if I like that pick.
I love
Why?
that.
What's
Pick.
wrong with
There's
that
no
pick?
value there. It's just ant propaganda.
It's a hype man. That's
I
the
didn't think-
definition of hype man.
Wait,
I
Ant,
didn't-
like
it's Ant
the
Jr.,
dog-
the
it's
dog.
It's the
dog,
dog.
yeah.
Yeah. No, so it's definitely like AE5 Enterprises, right?
It's
I don't know. I think you're falling for corporate propaganda.
corporate
Dirt.
one player.
It's a good.
It's
It's a
pick.
great account.
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
This guy
Every
hates
time-
dogs.
Every time
He's
Ant
anti-dog over here.
Ant has a sick dunk, it's just like great dunk pops.
It's such a good account.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
so
It's gotta be like
funny.
his family, like a cousin of his or something. Right?
So what? It's
So
still
what?
part of
It's
Tim.
cool.
I don't rock with it. That's part of Ant
That's
Twitter.
an awesome
Thank
pick,
you.
Dirk,
No,
and
thank
it was
you.
who I was gonna take with the
Yeah.
last
All right.
pick.
Yeah.
So it's
Damn it!
so I
That's
got
the second
Do you
draft
have
in
a
a row.
backup?
That's the second draft in a row you've taken. I do have a backup.
Okay.
so I have
But
two,
I'm a little nervous you're going to take my backup.
me
if you
or
have a me-
Durf?
You only have writers and bloggers left.
Yes, I got 2 slappers coming up. Ooh. Let's go to 7. Should we go to 7? Should we add another wild card? Or should
That's
we
going
not?
to throw the. Yeah, we could add another wild card.
Well, it's not, when we get back to you, we can see how we feel.
Okay.
So I need 2 writers. I want Chris Hine.
Okay, I was nervous Chris Hine was going to go undrafted
No.
after Durf and I had our stuff filled, and I was going to be mad about that.
I'm taking Chris Hine.
Great pick. Also a very high value pick.
High value pick. He also is a great piano player. I had him on my my short-lived music podcast.
We should have him play music on our podcast.
Oh yeah, we're
Bring
getting
in a keyboard.
No.
He's just playing in the background.
Dude, we're gonna get Chris in here. We're gonna do like a half music, half Timberwolves centric bit. So Brandon, you're gonna have to listen to music.
You make it sound like I despise music.
Anti-music guy.
The only thing you listen to is that one quick scene in Pirates of the Caribbean 2 where Davy Jones is playing the organ with his tentacles. That's your favorite song, bro.
And Eminem.
It's just on repeat.
Yeah.
And then for my second rider,
I know who this is gonna be.
Do you know who it's gonna be?
It's gonna be Huncho J-Man.
No, that's a wild card. Is he a writer? He's a blogger.
He's a
blogger.
blogger. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Huncho is on my. Oh no, no.
You shouldn't have said it before you picked.
No, because
Just go with your gut.
Chalenga from the CND NBA show and
okay.
zone coverage.
Nice.
I think that's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I just everything that podcast does is just gets me right in the heart every time. So
I had Chalenga on my board as a potential meme lord if I didn't have the first overall pick.
Again, a lot of versatile folks.
A really good pick.
In Wolves Twitter, and also just like I think Dylan, the other guy, runs just the pod account, also super strong. So Chalenga, welcome to the squad. So if we don't continue the bit, my team is Barflon, Britt Robson, Shabazz Khan, Jordan Dye, Chris Hine, and Chalenga.
I'm fine with ending the bit. I just wanted to make sure Chris Hine got taken.
We'll do our
We'll do
last
some
picks.
honorable mentions. As
Yeah.
well.
I still have my last
Yeah.
pick. You have one more.
If we have so many, let's do it.
We can also just go through our
Yeah,
like
we
our
can just list
remainder,
our honorable mentions.
like the ones that didn't get
Okay,
drafted.
sounds good.
For my meme account,
Don't do it.
I'm taking. It's a smaller account. It's not as well known, but it's so good. If you guys like, I think you should leave. It's called I Think You Should Naz Reid.
This is a classic account.
And it's such a good account. They're so funny and so thematic and timely. Go follow. If you don't follow, I think you should Naz Reid. It's amazing.
I'm worried a little bit about the oversaturation of I think you should leave memes, but also every time I see one, it gets me every time.
Yeah.
So I just rock with it.
This is just a shameless plug.
I didn't want to reveal it actually. I do rock with the account.
Cut it.
I'm going to be with Durf here because I also had myself as a meme lord.
I actually had you on my big board.
Thank you. I was like,
I think you should Naz Reid on my board as well.
If it's a good account, it's a good account.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Beck, who's your final pick?
Okay, I was nervous you were going to take this guy. And once again, I cannot believe this guy fell to the 6th round. And I should get like some bonus points for pairing him with Jake's Graphs, a famous
Josh
duo.
Broughton.
Josh Broughton for the
Yeah.
wild card.
Mm-hmm.
That's I figured.
I had him on my.
I thought he was going to be your meme lord pick,
Me?
Durf.
I was gonna have him as a hype man.
I had him on my board as a hype man too, but I didn't think I was going to take him because I thought I was going to get Ant Jr. As my wild card.
Also a great pick.
So here are the teams. Okay, we'll do a big honorable mentions section. Wow, Wolf's Twitter is deep.
Wolf's Twitter is real
There's
deep.
still quite a few.
Yeah, so, okay, here are the teams. Brandon has Jake Scraffs, Kyle Tigey, Punch Drunk Wolves, Jake Painting, Jace Frederick, Josh Broughton. Durf, you have Johnny K, Dane Moore, Jack Borman, Jeff Moneke, and Jr., and I think you should Naz Reid, and I have just a freaking powerhouse. Barflon, Britt Robson, Shabazz Khan, Jordan Dye, Chris Hine, and Chalenga. A lot of penises, bro. A lot of them. The Wolf's Twitter, are we being kind of dude-centric here? Because like I had Marnie Gellner on my big board.
I had Marnie Gellner as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, there's Maggie.
I had
Muggsy
because I had
88.
Johnny K though. Marnie, I didn't want to go another reporter that's like again, you kind of have to toe the line. Like there's not a lot of like comedy coming from Marnie Gellner's account.
But
You know what I mean?
Have you heard her when she's on podcasts though?
No,
she's very funny.
very funny, but I just mean from Twitter specifically.
well, and I had Meat Sauce on my big board because he's a Wolves Twitter.
So you guys,
person.
we did a good job. The top 13 on my board all got taken by someone.
Look at us go.
So
Huncho J Man.
you go through yours
Yeah.
and then we'll wrap it
yeah.
around.
So other people
Again,
on
nice.
my board, Wolves Clips, great follow.
Yeah.
I had them as a wild card potentially. Huncho J Man as a writer blogger, that's a great one. Cooper Carlson, really good follow. Great meme lord account, guys. Crunch wears no pants.
Mostly me making threatening TikToks.
I've heard of them before.
Writer
good.
blogger John Mayer.
Yeah, I had
Oh,
him.
John's great.
Yeah, Brendan Headkey.
Oh yeah.
Writer blogger Brandon Scoop B Robinson.
Wolves are busy. Wolves are busy, bro. I bet you he'd come on the pod because he's
but he stopped saying wolves are busy.
Yeah, but he still watches. He followed me on Twitter randomly, so we have a line to Scoop B.
Let's see.
And also, he has a cool vibe. I like a guy that wears suits and like fun glasses. I love it. It's very magnetic.
And then a couple other meme lords, NetGlow, good meme account, and a relatively new account, another one that's run by one of our buddies, Smorg City.
Yeah, I had him on.
That's a great one.
That was my backup meme lord.
Very graphic design centric.
He's got some really good stuff.
Follow Smorg City, guys.
Yeah,
it's
really good meme account. Made a Crunch Wears No Pants one. That was awesome.
You
Really
did.
unexpected.
There's 2 more in the pipeline. I've requested of him.
Ooh. I had Smorgy as well. I had Timberwolves memes. Good account. It's like they're kind of a volume account, so like some of it misses, but it's honestly really good.
It's Wolves,
Yeah, it's memes. Trip, not D Wolf.
That's a good one.
The Daily Wolf. Yeah. I went on their podcast the day before my wedding at 11 o'clock because it was the draft and Ricky Rubio got traded. He's like, dude, you got to come on the pod. I'm like, I'm getting married tomorrow, but sure. He goes, bro, that's awesome. And yeah, Trip's great.
That's awesome. And then I had John Mayer as Meyer. John Meyer or Mayer?
I think it's Meyer.
Yeah, John Meyer.
MYER.
Yeah.
He doesn't play guitar either, so it can't be.
I know. I was thinking
impossible.
too close.
His body is a wonder man.
Nice.
Marty Gellner, Jim Pete.
Jim Pete.
Michael Grady was another one.
I have Michael Grady as well. And then Ben Beacon. Do you guys know Ben Beacon? He does Wolves.
I think I followed.
I'm not familiar with this one.
Someone needs to make a Wolves Twitter list because I was trying to find one. Maybe we should just make one.
Yeah, that could be a task along with the teams here.
Yeah. We'll have to make one and have. Can we make it public so people can add to it? But whatever. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I think so.
Do we have anything? Is there anything else we want to say about Wolves Twitter besides we love everybody and we have a really strong? It's fun to see how strong it is.
It's a great community. It's a lot of fun and we've all been through a lot, so it's kind of this trauma bonding us together.
That's what I'm saying. Whenever I'm out, I don't wear Twins gear obviously because I'm a Mariners fan ever since I was 6 years old. But when I wear Vikings gear out, no one says "Skull."
Yeah,
no one gives a shit. But when I wear Wolves stuff, it's like Wolves back, baby. Let's go. Do you remember Ryan Hollins?
Ryan?
Yeah, and
he just got the Wolf of the. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah, and people get freaking amped when I'm just wearing I've tweeted this when I'm wearing the blue, black, and green man. I'm meeting best friends for life. So it's and I think it is a trauma bonding thing. Hey, we watched an 18 and 50, 18 and whatever.
We've been through some rough times together.
15 and 67.
Yeah,
the 09-10 Timberwolves that you remember.
We're still going.
Scores.
We're still going to 15 to 20 games a year when they're winning.
Yeah, well, college night was smacking back in the day.
It was.
Wolves Army.
You had to stand up the entire time. They're like, you can sit in these seats, but you have to stand the entire game.
The Darko boys.
Yeah,
good times. Great times.
Right.
It's time for
Random Wolf of the Week. Wow.
We're getting better at that.
Yeah. And that's not as funny if we're good at it.
It's also just funny because in the agenda, it's always guess that wolf. We never call it that. All right, fellas. My fellas, are you ready for clue number 1? Actually, do you want to do your classic bit where you just guess? You get one guess.
We should get one guess.
I want to inhale and then I'm just going to let out whatever comes first. Okay. Do you trust me, Brandon?
I trust you.
Doug West.
No.
Can I do one too?
No, I don't want to narrow
it. I promise it's not this guy. Miroslav Raduljica.
Holy crap.
What, dude?
I was just looking at that guy the other day for a potential one. But he didn't play enough.
That's too deep. What is it? It has to be 10 games or?
No, it's just one game.
When did he play?
He was a random 10-day contract guy on a really terrible team.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard of him, so. All right. Clue number 1. Keeping it vague for number 1. This former Timberwolf was drafted by the Wolves with the 40th overall pick.
Former Timberwolf, 40th overall pick.
48th.
48th.
As if that changes things.
I have 2 thoughts. Either Craig Smith or Robbie Hummel.
I think it'd be Robbie Hummel.
Is it Robbie Hummel?
It is not Robbie Hummel, but that is a good pick.
Okay.
Good,
I think
guess.
we should try Craig Smith. He's number 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you always need to know their jersey number?
We've watched so many. And also 5 is my favorite.
I think he's on Big Ten Network now.
5 is my favorite number. So I was like, Craig Smith is going to be great. And I tried to make him good in NBA Live. Couldn't.
All right.
He was so bad I couldn't even progress him.
Clue number 2.
Who is it?
During During his season and a half stint with the Timberwolves, he appeared in 67 games, only starting 3 and averaging 5 points per game and 6.8 games or points per game respectively.
It's so hard when we don't have like a year.
I know.
Yeah, so he's a second round pick. Craig Smith was better than that. I know. Craig Smith was like good for the Wolves for like a couple of years.
Oh, he's number 5, my favorite number, so he's playing for me. After last week, I'm just like I'm so nervous to even say anything.
Second round picks.
You're playing with house money. You proved yourself last week.
No. Because they're going to say you're in your flop era, and I don't want to.
One and done.
Yeah, he's out of here. I think it might be Stephon Marbury.
It's definitely not him. Greg Smith.
No. Third clue. He was a former college teammate of a current Wolf and a 4-year college athlete.
Interesting.
Is it Keelan Martin?
But he was better for us than 5 points a game. But he didn't get good until recently, though. Maybe that was more of a hype thing. I would guess it.
I don't think he was drafted by the Wolves, but Keelan Martin.
Nope, it is
Sad.
not Keelan Martin. But that is a good guess.
There's the whole D'Lo thing. Him and D'Lo
Yeah,
were
that's
buddies.
right. Did they play? No,
They played high school basketball together.
All right, so the fourth clue is he's played in the NBA for 5 seasons, spanning the Wolves, the Nuggets, and the Spurs.
Keita Bates-Diop.
Yes.
Correct. As soon as you said it was like Keelan and Keita Bates-Diop was the one.
For some reason, when
He was teammates with D'Lo?
yeah, at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. They did a whole feature on it on League Pass.
I knew they were both at Ohio State.
D'Lo was a one and done, so it was only obviously that 1 year. But
Keita only played 2 years, I think.
No, he played 4 years at Ohio State.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think that was
Maybe he was only good for 2 years.
Yeah, it was his last 2 seasons. I don't think he played much his first 2 years.
I was wondering when he would be the random wolf.
So
I think he's like an odd fan favorite.
Yeah, he is. He was a lot of fun. He actually reminds me a lot of Slow-Mo, like his body type, and kind of the way.
And similar, like not as slow, but more like methodical.
He's really cerebral,
and but not in the way you think cerebral. I got really nervous for some reason when you just were gonna throw out a random guess. I was like, I think he might just say
I'm
it.
always nervous about the random guess.
The final clue was his last name is hyphenated. He went to Ohio State.
Yeah, well,
definitely
just
would
trying
have
to
gotten that one.
Yeah.
No, as soon as you said the teams, that became
You know that
obvious.
he's on the Spurs right now.
Yeah. Well, and also I remember him getting traded to the Nuggets in trade Armageddon Day, where
Everybody
got
got
with
traded.
only Josh Okogie and Towns left.
Oh gosh, what
insane.
a time! What a time!
The day we got D'Lo.
Yeah.
Well, what a fun random wolf of the week. I'm really looking forward to the day where we pick like a big name, like it's Kevin Love,
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
He played 12 seasons.
You know it's gonna be like Kevin Garnett, where it's like his favorite color is red.
He's the Wolves' all-time leading scorer.
So do we have anything else we want to discuss about the Wolves? We do have some bonus potential bits if we have some time. I mean, we have like potential D'Lo trades. I know you want to talk about that, Brandon. We have Crunch's pronouns. Are they confirmed? And then Michael Grady, which is 1 point. He's very good.
Michael Grady's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you covered it all.
I think that's about it.
That's it.
Those are the points. Yeah, I don't think. First of all, I think your potential D'Lo trades in the document are ridiculous because they're not going to happen.
These are not from me. They're from Wolves'
They're
Twitter.
trending.
Well, the one of them I've only seen from you on Wolves' Twitter.
What, Zach LaVine?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
I saw you respond to some like, Zach LaVine is potentially available.
I think it was Chilenga. Yeah, Chilenga baited me, dude.
Zach LaVine's always trending in Wolves' Twitter though, because we all want him back.
Can I talk about my wife real quick and Zach LaVine? That's weird.
What happened?
So when she was like 6 months pregnant, she was driving me for some reason. She was driving.
You were probably hammered.
I was probably hammered on the way to our intramural or into a basketball game.
That's why you broke your
The
wrist.
Ellsworth Three Skirts, another great Twitter account. Follow it.
So she was driving me, and it was the Athletic account where they're talking about how Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, and Kat all like picked the cul-de-sac where they were all going to live. And I read that to Allie, and she just started crying because she was so emotional.
She still brings that up.
She still brings it up. And then she goes, why can't we have D'Lo, Zach, Wiggins, Kat all on the same team? I'm like, it doesn't work, babe.
I mean, we want it. We all want it. But
Like, they could just take less money. I'm like, they're not going to take less money to be together. So I think it's very funny how the Wolves made a pregnant woman very emotional. Or just, that was Johnny K. It was an Athletic article. So
way to go, Johnny K. How do you feel about your list
oh,
now?
Man,
he made Allie cry.
I might have to cut him from the team now.
But it was like a cute, like nice cry, not like
it was an emotional.
Yeah, not like a you suck cry. And I have one omission from Wolves Twitter. Henry Lake from WCCO forgot to put H Lake in there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That does it for Crunch Wears No Pants. If you made it to the end, you owe us a 5-star rating. Otherwise, I'm coming to your house. I'm going to put Jimmy's dips in your bed, and I'm going to mix it with super glue, and you're going to be stuck in a sugary, gluey mess, and ants are going to come and eat you. So,
Ant's going to come.
Anthony Edwards is going to come and eat you.
He's just going to show up.
So, thank you for listening. That's Nate. That's Brandon. I'm Jordan.